Am I the asshole for not showing my BF my phone when he never asked to see it? I have a tendency to get defensive and am trying to break that habit, so I'm turning to an outside source for answers. Me, 33F, and my BF, 37M, have been dating for about 4 months, and we talking for about a month before. Early in our relationship, before officially dating, but while well into the talking phase and on the same page regarding not being in that sort of contact with anyone else, I fucked up. I was weeks off a separation from my soon-to-be ex of nearly 13 years, still waiting on court/paperwork. I'm sure you can put two and two together as to the kind of fuck up. I also fucked up a couple of months ago by still being in friendly contact with said ex. It was nothing explicit or beyond platonic, but still friendly, and I knew it was a firm boundary with BF to have no contact with ex outside of strictly regarding the children ex, and I share. Since that time, I have been on the straight and narrow regarding any communications with the ex, and have shown BF each and every contact between ex and I. All this to say, I'm not perfect. I've been downright shitty. Still, BF says he loves me and wants to stay and make this work, claiming it's nothing we can't work past, and making it crystal clear that I am on very thin ice. Since then, I installed Life 360 so he can know where I am and have put his fingerprint in my phone, so he has full access. Now, to the question. Am I the asshole for not showing him my phone when he didn't ask to see it? We were hanging out this evening and having a nice night. While looking up a dinner recipe, he said I exited out of a page on my phone very quickly and asked what it was. I told him I hadn't closed anything and was just pulling up the recipe as I was on the wrong screenshot. I was on the ingredients instead of the instructions. He didn't believe that I didn't close anything and that I looked guilty. I did look guilty because he made me feel like I was hiding something when there was nothing, and I knew he didn't believe that. Guilty is my default. So the vibe was off for a while, but eventually our night continued nicely. I left for my night shift job later that night, kissed him goodbye, texted him when I arrived that I was safe, and hope he got good sleep, as he was asleep when I left for work. An hour later, he texted me apologizing for falling asleep and telling me he was upset with me because he wanted to see my phone before I laid down after dinner, but I just grabbed it and went to bed, and that I was asleep before he came into the room. Before I laid down, I told him I was going to lay down and gave him a kiss. He asked me to turn his show on the TV and told me he'd be right in. So I picked up my phone off the counter, plugged it in to charge in the room, turned on the TV, and ended up falling asleep about 5 minutes later before he made it into the room. I told him that my phone was on the dresser, where I always leave it to charge, and that he could have looked at it and that it wasn't fair for him to get upset at me for not doing something he didn't tell me he wanted me to do. That he could have just said, "Can I see your phone first?" And I would have handed it right over. He then said I've stopped showing him my phone. I show him every text, message, or call that comes through, but don't just show him it randomly when there's nothing happening on it, and Thappy shouldn't have to ask to see it. Then said, "It's fine, he'll take the blame since I didn't ask," which sounds manipulative to me, but I may just be being defensive, then informed me that he was going to sleep now and quit texting completely. So am I the asshole? Add, when we started talking, I was not looking for a relationship, but just wanted someone to talk to and hang out with, not in a sexual sense, and made that clear, but one thing led to another, we clicked, and here we are.